that time I tried a whole bunch of things. I tried to be a bricklayer. I tried to be a chef. You know, there was an elderly gentleman, I'll never forget him. He was a warrant officer van Wyk, and he said to me, if there's one thing that you must do, and that is study. Then I said, okay, I'm going to start a training company. When I tried to start the training company, I realized, oops, this is a different ballgame.
Today we're joined by Dr. Graeme Lategan, a true lifelong learner and powerhouse in education and leadership. With qualifications spanning from labour law and risk management to an MBA, Dr. Lategan has built a career dedicated to skills development, leadership training, and shaping the future of work. He's a moderator and assessor across 13 theatres and worked with over 200 companies, and bringing not only academic depth, but also global insights from his training expertise abroad. Beyond the titles, he's passionate about unlocking potential in people and building a stronger workforce for South Africa's future. Welcome to Dr. Lategan. So let's start at the very beginning of your story, you know. Where did your journey in education and leadership begin?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question and not going back too far.
We can go all the way to the very beginning, but I don't think...
Don't go back too far because it's a history I kind of don't want to repeat right now. But yeah, so in education, let's say formally around about 11, 12 years, informally 15 odd. So I come from government departments where I was appointed, or can I say self-appointed sometimes, just taking on the role of like the field training officer, so to speak. But that started in my law enforcement days. I come from a policing and law enforcement background, and it started informally when we realized that there was a massive gap in terms of, you know, just skilling our police officers and our traffic officers at that time. So I did some informal training with them and designed some programs, and I think the passion started early. I got out of it the higher I climbed in government. And then realized when I got out of government, I have to do something. And yeah, so around about 2014, more or less officially is
you focused on
yeah, that's where it became a reality.
Okay. Now, and I mean, you've obviously pursued a lot of qualifications.
I did.
Across many different fields, you know,
Multiple.
From labour law to risk management.
You name it.
And even MBA.
Even hairdressing, I did it.
Now, what fuels, you know, that constant hunger for learning and knowledge?
It's almost emotional to an extent in that as I left school in Standard 8. What grade is that now? I lose track, but be that as it may. What's the grade?
Grade
10, 11.
Grade 10.
Okay, so grade 10. More forced to, but also out of just the fact that I hated the school that I was in at the time. It was I hadn't recovered from an emotional episode in terms of my family, the loss of my parents, etc. And going through that experience, I couldn't cope in school. It was just not, you know, it was just a terrible environment. And I was thrust into the correctional services at that time. And I thought I'd survive just like, you know, on a government salary kind of thinking. And the proverbial pension and kind of, you know, medical aid. But it wasn't until about 2 odd years later, you know, there was an elderly gentleman, I'll never forget him. He was a warrant officer van Wyk, and he said to me, if there's one thing that you must do, and that is study. Well, I mean, I was scared into studying, so I don't know if it was
never
fear.
Stopped.
I don't know if it was fear or still kind of that, you know, that after effect that kind of resonates. But that always, when people ask me the question, that resonates with me. And I began then to study my grade 12 through the post, distance education. And at that time, you could still do a law matric, you know, if anything, you know. Well, what was law? It was just statute law and criminology and ethnology and all that kind of stuff. So, but I did it. It took me about two odd years, and I completed it. At that time, I tried a whole bunch of things. I tried to be a bricklayer. I tried to be a chef. You laugh. all these people come across my path.
Such a wide variety.
Now you're making me think now and go back. I can talk all year on this kind of thing. And it was like, they made me, if I can say, they made me sort of experience things. Sort of like a gap year, if you want to call it that. And then I tried the cooking and that didn't work for me. And I tried the bricklaying and it was okay. And I tried the carpentry and I tried this and I tried that. And I tried agriculture. Can you believe that? I mean, there was a time when I used to work in the lands of the prison reserves, especially out in Goedemut in the Orange Free State and or in the Free State now. And that became kind of a passion. I thought, that's the thing I want to get into. Quickly realized I ain't a farmer, you know what I mean? After being kicked by a horse, so
I
to
would
speak.
not be able to work in a farm.
Oh, man, it was. But can I say this? The experiences along the way and the environments that I was subjected to a degree were influential. But at one stage, and I failed miserably at every diploma I started, to be honest with you. I mean, I started an agricultural diploma. Then I started I don't know, what is it? Something to do with engineering or what was it? Yeah, the carpentry things.
And nothing stuck with you.
It didn't stick. I just failed at it. But you know what the problem was? I never had guidance. I never had, there was no leadership in my life. We didn't know things about, we never went on training. We were never subjected to training. Basic training, that's it. Out you go and off you went. I think when I got into the traffic profession, I began to study what they called at the time, which was traffic science. Can you believe it? Yeah.
I never even knew such a thing existed.
Was a thing. It was a thing back in the day. And that was just because I'd already been promoted in correctional services. So I went out as a senior traffic officer and I just thought the bee's knees, was just like the number one kind of guy and still young. And then I inspired people around me, the old, the oud, if you can call that, to begin to study. By that time, I'd completed my qualification. It was a 3-year diploma that I'd done through distance education, through an organization called Success College. I'll never forget them. I think they're still around. But be that as it may, it put me on the next tier of salary, and that was the end of that. So I realized if I'm going to make money in the world,
you
I have to
keep learning.
Study. It has never stopped, and I keep finding myself getting back into studies. I just don't know why I do this to myself. It's crazy. But yeah, that's where I am. So.
And what inspired you to pursue your PhD? And I mean, why did you pursue it?
Well, I'm still pursuing the PhD, but I've got a doctorate in ministry at the moment. So this is going to be my second doctorate. Hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah, the PhD is for my field of expertise, which is management and leadership. So I had to do that in terms of the philosophical kind of, connotation attached to it. And I'm pursuing a new field of study, which is adaptive management and leadership. So I'm saying to the academic world, and let's say this quietly to them, that I don't believe in the old management leadership theories anymore. They don't apply,
Not in the new world.
Not in the new world, not even close. And you'll be surprised how many people are still teaching. It drives me insane. I mean, it makes me absolutely crazy. I think I've just seen a light come on somewhere along the line. And it's not new, by the way. My theory is not new, although the way I'm taking it is new.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then, of course, a bunch of other things that I've done in terms of my career. But, yeah. That's where I am.
So you're a moderator and an assessor for 13
different seaters.
Yes.
At that stage it was 15, but I've sort of cut down on those.
You've cut down.
I eliminated the arts form and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Why, I presume you're asking. That's actually where I started my career. So when I started, when I went into training, I said, I'm going to become a training company. I thought, this is it,
Because it's so easy.
There's such a simple, how complicated can it be? That was a wake-up call for me. But during the years of 2011, 2012, 2013, I began to do the assess and moderator course because there was an extra income involved in that. It was the stage when seaters were looking for external assessors and moderators. So it was really a passive income driver. That's all it was, really. I thought, well, okay, I originally wanted to go into SASSETA, which is the security sector, which I did quite successfully. And and I registered as an assessor and a moderator. First, I had to do the training, of course, and then with all my qualifications, I was it just fell into place. I didn't get business.
Really?
No, I mean, I didn't know how to market. I mean, what did I know about marketing? I mean, I didn't know how to sell. I mean, I didn't know anything like that. And then so basically, it was the idea of passive income.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay, I'm going to start a training company. When I tried to start the training company, I realized, oops, this is a different ballgame. Now, let's not get into all that science, but you understand, I then fell back into assessing moderating.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started to learn the ropes of the seaters, etc. And I then began to market my services to other training companies.
And they will make use of it because so many training companies are looking.
Well, at that stage they did. It's kind of quietened down now. I don't know if you've picked that up in
we actually are struggling to find assessors and moderators.
Well, I am one of your assessors and moderators.
I know, you're one of them.
But you don't use me enough. But it's a difficult, you are in a difficult position as well, yourself.
I mean, UCTO, that whole change has changed the ballgame for so many things.
No, it has. It's flipped the industry on its lid.
It has.
And not necessarily, and I'm going to be very honest with you, it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So we can discuss again that all day, but it's going to affect it's going to affect the game, whether we like it or not. You are eliminating literally millions of assessors and moderators in the field. You are doing that by virtue of the existence of the QCTO, because they're going to look at things a little bit differently. They're going to say we want subject matter expertise, and you're going to have to prove that expertise. You know what I mean?
With 3 to 5 years of experience in the field,
it's big games.
It is so much, because a lot of assessors and moderators, they might have experience assessing and moderating for a couple of years, but they haven't worked in the field.
They haven't worked in that field.
So they cannot assess and moderate.
Hence the fact that I went from 15 to 13. But you asked, to get back to your question, I mean, it's very ironic what you're saying. I did that because I knew that versatility would be the game changer here. And the versatility was that I would remain actively busy if I had multiple seaters or seaters that I could service. It sounds bad, but you know where I'm going with this. But listen, can I say this? It was an extremely lucrative change in career for me. I loved it. I still enjoy it. We still do it. I'm picky with my clients though at the moment. I
would be too. I mean, you can get some really sketchy individuals and businesses that are wanting to.
They need to use the word quality in front of the PO. So you can get those sketchy girls. I mean, it's difficult. It's although we enjoy it, we've actually become we've started to love moderating more than assessing, if you know what I'm saying, because assessing seems so new and I have to start all over and coach everybody. And
you're moderating something that's already there.
You've done the work, and and if there's a right tick, I'm kind of happy to go with a right tick. I'm not going to interrogate that anymore. I'm too old for that.
But you've partnered with over 200 companies.
Yeah, some more now.
And what are some of the biggest skill gaps that you have noticed in our workforce today? Because I mean, there's so many skill gaps
today. I think that the skills gaps now is the qualifications that we have that are still out there, legacy, historic, whatever you want to call that, for lack of better terms, are still not addressing exactly that, the scarce skills in South Africa per se, and let's say in the SADC regions, and that for that matter in Africa. So show me somebody that can take a learnership and go and work overseas.
No one.
Well, that answers that question. So I'm concerned in terms of there is a skills gap. Are we addressing it? We're trying. Are we heading in the right direction? There was a time. Do we have the right skills that we are imparting now for young people in this country, either advantage or disadvantage? I'm talking universities and now learnerships. No, I don't think so. I don't think we're addressing it. And today's scarce skill is not tomorrow's scarce skill. The world is just moving too fast. So the things that we should be addressing, I think, is shorter skills, not longer skills. I don't think that the year-long, 2-year-long, 3-year-long, in fact, I'm questioning the validity of universities nowadays, because what are our people bringing to the table when they exit universities?
And the amount of times I have sat across from someone
There you go.
who now is successful and they say, I studied for 4 years, I used nothing.
There you go. So, I mean, that answers that question. I mean, I think there's a movement in the world right now that is trying to debunk college and universities and things like that. And I get it. I understand it. I think before young people, in fact, anybody for that matter, is trying to, before they chase a skill or are kind of conditioned to believe that that is the next best thing, take some time off, evaluate what it is that the world is looking for right now.
But that's difficult because, I mean, a lot of companies, if you go and interview with someone, they want to know, why did you take that time off?
That's bad. That's just bad interview.
And they're so, I hate that question because I understand why someone might say, I had to take a year. I had to figure out which route I wanted to go down.
100%.
And you can't, we are asking 16, 15-year-olds to choose their main subjects.
You can't do that. I'm sorry.
With the intent of what they're going to study in, university.
Or for that matter, even, informal education.
It doesn't work.
Not at all. So we have to begin to change the narrative. If we don't begin to change the narrative of HR in organizations as well as companies in terms of this traditional model of looking for the perfect candidate, if we don't begin to change that narrative, we will never end up trying to manage our talent efficiently and effectively for longevity, for that matter. So I want to employ somebody who knows what it is that they want. They don't have to have it all figured out, but at least they must have some sort of, I want to actually improve them that they can move away from me. But companies are not thinking like that.
No.
We are. And I mean, I think you get it. If somebody says to me, I went into university, I studied a 4-year program, and it's, let's say it's in, I'm going to use the term now, HR, but you're applying for a marketing assistant. Yeah, but I couldn't find a job in HR. You see what I'm getting at? And I hear you. We need to embrace, as organizations, mature companies and business, we need to embrace youngsters to stop asking for this 2-year, 3-year thing, 3-year experience, 5 years experience, or at least a qualification. Yeah, there's something to be said for somebody savvy. That's the way I see it.
And I mean, it kind of touches on what I wanted to speak about next, which is like, what are the trends that you are noticing shaping the future of, especially of education in South Africa, because we can't keep comparing ourselves to like America or the United Kingdom or Australia, because our circumstances are so different in some aspects.
They are, but why can't we? Is maybe, let me throw the question back at you. I mean, so I think again, with respect to the industry, we need to begin to understand what the world wants. So let's use this as a stat for you. About 60 to 70% of people that will leave a university, specifically in the northern part of South Africa, specifically women, young ladies, will still remain unemployed. Now, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we are now losing those skills overseas. So in actual fact, we're training well, we're losing even better. You understand what I'm getting at? So to get at your question kind of more directly, if we look at the comparativeness inside the world, inside of skills, the UK went through a brain drain recently. The aging population, people, did not want to renew their skills. You know what I'm saying? We can't. It's too immigration laws, etc. Study visas, etc. is becoming an issue. I mean, just look at the USA now. The world is in reverse at the moment. It's kind of upside down. So yes, we shouldn't compare, but we can't try and remain unique to our situation. We have to look at the wider market of where I'm going to go in an uncomfortable situation to become employed. Otherwise, you are just not going to survive. I mean, that's the reality. But what skills do you think we are looking at? Well, let's say it's artificial intelligence. I mean,
that's a big skill and a big talking point.
Yeah.
Regardless of what industry you are in, AI has a huge role on. in it.
It has a huge role. You're 100% right. I mean, I'm not sure how you're finding it, but for me, it's actually now no longer artificial intelligence. It's now advanced intelligence. I mean, AI will make more millionaires in the next 5 to 8 years than any industry has made over the last 10, 15, 20 odd years, for that matter. But what I'm concerned about is what level of AI are we actually promoting in industry? There's the medical, there's the coding and all that kind of stuff. That's brilliant, but it's the bad side of AI that I'm concerned about, where we are trying
unethical part.
Well, not only unethical, just the very poor, where we are now drawing a shark that bites somebody coming out of the ocean, and then everybody in the comments, I love the comments. They will say, "Is it AI? Is it AI? Is it AI?"
Because it's so difficult for some people to spot it.
Well, isn't therein the problem with AI?
It's almost too real.
I'm concerned about the journey of AI. Now you know what we are trying to do is we're trying to sell the premise that AI is the next best thing, which yes it is to a degree, but at the same time I'm arguing, well, if AI is the next best thing, then why are we saying that don't worry humans, you will still be relevant running next to AI? When 4 or 5 years ago, we were telling them in 20 years or 10 years, you won't have a job.
It's not something you have to worry about. Yeah.
Well, not having to worry about. Then we told them you won't have a job. And now we're telling them, don't worry, you'll still be fine. The reality is 30 to 40% of people currently employed, if they don't change the way they think about artificial intelligence, will not be employed in the next 8 to 10 years.
And that's a very valid concern for some people, especially I've noticed and I've noticed that a lot of the older generations, like you said, in the United Kingdom, they had that, learning
kind of brain drain.
Yes.
It's like an aging.
But it's because they didn't want to learn.
No, they didn't want to adapt.
That is a trend we can see no matter where we go.
Yes.
Yes. A lot of people think, well, I've paid my dues, I've done it. I don't need to learn about this industry anymore. I am already considered an expert.
No,
but there's no such thing.
No, that's going to, I mean, teachers will be replaced. Let's just agree that AI is not new.
No. AI has been around for quite a few years.
Donkey's years, no. Not to disrespect donkeys, but you get where I'm going.
It just hasn't been as prominent.
It has not been in your face.
Where public members can make use of it.
It's very true. And we were relying too much on this revolutionary mindset. You were in the third revolution, then you're in the fourth industrial revolution, now you're in the fifth, computer, I don't know. I lose track of all these revolutions. I don't teach that anymore in my programs. I refuse to do that. If somebody puts a program in front of me, I change the course quick. And it's simply put, it's because what we are teaching is not going to be as relevant as what we think it is going to be in the next 4 to 5 years. So I'm teaching, or we are trying to teach, or we're trying to roll out programs that will be of relevance in the future. And this is very important for us. I think that's what we've got to kind of change the way we think.
You kind of said that schools or education, I mean, obviously that's going to change quite a bit. It's 100%. Going to be totally different. Yeah. And you said teachers are going to become almost irrelevant to some degree. I mean, it depends, I guess, on...
Well, it does affect my job.
I know. That's why I said to some degree, because I am also a teacher, guys.
Yeah.
However, it's going to have an impact. I mean, a lot of the older teachers, they don't realize how AI is going to influence even as young as 3, 4 grades.
Woohoo!
I mean, you have kids who are able to use ChatGPT better than adults.
It's a fact,
now,
which is scary.
It is terrifying.
Please understand that scares me.
It's just, how do you feel our traditional education system is going to be able to keep pace with these sort of rapidly changing, world of work almost? Well,
there's a lot of pain points and touch points on that particular question. In so much so is, what is the quality of our teachers versus the quality of our education? The two are streams apart. Do we agree on that? We can debate that forever, but the churning out of the education system, let's say we are producing teachers at a particular rate. We don't have enough schools
No,
to put teachers in.
not at all.
Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Right. So why are we teaching that in universities? Then we should stop that. Does that make sense to you? And another thing is, some of my family members who are educators, teachers, my nieces and nephews, are overseas teaching because they could not find employment here. So there's a lot of touch points and pain points, as I say. So the education system is far removed from the reality of employing teachers, and teachers are losing, the art of really and truly kind of, being very, how can I say, innovative, creative. Not that they're not. I still see teachers buying the odd crayons.
Some of them, really are losing. I don't want to say they're
it.
losing passion, but they are.
They are
losing
well,
passion.
there is no other word. They're losing the passion because the system's overregulated. And then we've got the discipline factor of children inside the schools. I mean, that's another issue.
That's
and this just
huge.
Yeah, let's refer on Saturday note. America celebrated its 100th shooting in a school. Now that's when you
and that's 100 shooting of the year. That's not even.
Well, you shocked me more. You shocked me more.
They have at least a shooting every week or so.
So what is that telling us about the world? Can we call it children? Young adults, young kids. What is it telling us about how we're parenting? And what does it tell us about the education systems per se? What's happening in schools? Back in my day, it was a different schooling system. Not much better. I suffered from my schooling system. I hated my schooling system. It's no different today. So we haven't fixed that, and I'm concerned. What's lacking in schools is emotional intelligence, is entrepreneurship skills, good reading.
Those
fundamental things that children need to learn how to cope. I mean, we don't teach children how to cope in broken homes, dysfunctional houses, abusive. We celebrate a month for abuse against women and children, rightly so. But at the same time, what we're not doing is saying that how are we eradicating that? This is what we're not teaching.
No, it's not.
And our teachers are not geared for that.
I mean, if they were geared for it, our curriculum at the moment does not allow for that.
Well,
and I think that is one of the biggest. You have teachers who are wanting to do it, who will want to spend time creating these imaginative lessons, teaching things like coping skills or teaching learners how to deal with stress,
deal with anger, deal with all sorts of things. You're right.
But they do not. Our curriculum does not allow it to happen. I mean,
I agree with you.
Everything is structured in such a way, and that's not even
memory-based.
The admin burden on poor teachers. I am so glad I left the profession for this.
I'm sad to hear that because we've lost somebody good.
Like I said, I'm one of thousands. Right now, our government pays bursaries every year.
Yes.
They have a select amount of bursaries that they give out. And I mean, I was lucky enough to be one of those recipients.
Yes.
And I'm
fantastic.
very grateful for it. However, we are handing out bursaries to teachers who are then leaving education, leaving their studies.
Education space,
Leaving studies to go with the intent of studying, but there's with the intent of teaching. But then there's no jobs.
Well,
then they sit at home. So you've got thousands of teachers, young teachers, sitting at home, applying for any job they can get. And I'm talking any job. Sometimes I have had a teacher who told me she was being paid, 1,000 Rand a week.
Wow.
And she took it because she was desperate. And then she'll leave when she gets a better job.
That's scary. Look, I know those stats. Not that personal stat, but I know what you're doing. I don't have a teaching degree.
A lot of
you understand?
The best teachers are the ones who don't have the degrees.
Be that as it may, we can't say the same for the best engineers or the ones that don't have an engineering degree. So there is something to be said for universities, colleges, TVTs, good teaching skills, etc. Teachers. There's a good argument. My only concern is that it doesn't equate into guaranteed employment. I don't believe the employment stats in South Africa. I think they're running over 55% but that's me. Please don't crucify me. But the reality is exactly that. We shouldn't have to lose our younger generation that put their faith in the system. And likewise, there should be no shortage of we've been around for a long time. This is something we should have got right. And I can't see teachers at home. I can't see doctors. I've got youngsters that I'm teaching different programs, and they're computer scientists. They're unemployed.
Yep.
So be that as it may, it's depressing, but the reality is we've got to reinvent what we try to invent with the advent of learnerships and bursaries for that matter, or internships. Are they working? The idea was good. Are they working now? I don't think so. It's a good idea. We have to keep,
it's just the manner in which we are doing it is not successful.
That's the bottom line.
Now, how vital, we spoke a bit about how in schools learners need things like emotional intelligence,
yes,
those soft skills. How vital are those soft skills when it comes to things like adaptability and resilience, especially in today's workplace?
Yeah, it's an emotional question for me. If I, to say the least. I've long since, we currently in my organization, we are busy looking at developing programs with regards, which are aimed at exactly that. Mm-hmm. It's not about making money. It's about changing behavior. You get where I'm going? So in there lies maybe the directive passion that I'm trying to get to. But the point I'm trying to make is, and I think where you're going with the question is, what are we not doing for our people or our youngsters in school? So it's exactly that. Part of the curriculum should be not just an entrepreneurial book, but actually teach them how to open up a bank account. Mm-hmm. You get where I'm going?
Yes.
I mean, not just trying to prepare them for success, but let them understand failure. You get where I'm going?
I do.
So those are the things. I want to teach the other spectrum. We need to make youngsters. Can I call it? I'm trying to find the right word here, but we've got to make them aware of the notion that life is very complicated. It's very difficult. It's not easy, and things can get worse day by day. But that resilience that you're talking about, I'm talking about regeneration now. For me, resilience has become an old buzzword, but that's just me. But regenerating, rethinking the way you think. As you know, I don't talk about mindset. Mm-hmm. I talk about mind shift. Yep. So shifting your mind in terms of, because mindset is very static. We teach our youngsters to be team players in sports, but we don't teach them to be team players.
Yes.
In business, in homes, in the core values of life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We try and be the best sports teams, the best chess club, or whatever the case. We teach them to be competitive. We don't teach them how to lose.
And then when they do, they don't know how to cope with it.
That's my problem. So the approach has to be different, because at the end of and it sounds pessimistic, and I'm sorry if that comes away, that it might sound negative to many of the viewers, but it shouldn't be. We have to be. I train managers. I train managers to be crisis managers. Mm-hmm. I don't teach the proactive approach, because 99% of companies are reactive. Am I right?
True. No, you are very right.
You get it. So I teach, I say, guys, you have to be crisis fit. I mean, what do you mean? Is this a...
This is not the type of training we thought this was going to be.
I teach them to handle disasters, not disaster managers, but disasters. And I think when we start preparing people that they can fail, the taste of success is so much sweeter for them when those days arrive. And I still go through it. So emotional intelligence, anger, stress, all these things, feedback. For instance, I hear teachers still speak of this word criticism. I don't know if you've ever come. I never use the word criticism in my training. I tell them straight up, don't come with that word to me. Feedback, because the brain can't handle that.
Criticism means negative.
100%.
Feedback means this is something I can work on.
I can think about that. You're 100% right. So the minute we change the way the brain wants to think, because it was never designed to think negatively.
No, it wasn't.
But that's that.
So now you've trained people all around the world, not just in South Africa.
Yeah.
How does South Africa's talent compare internationally?
Marvelously.
Does it?
Marvelously. We are a sought after culture. I mean, third world? Are we still? I hate this terminology.
Hate it as well.
I can't stand being labeled that. We're so stereotypical, you know. but that being said, so I'm training in first world countries. I mean, it's phenomenal. Do I want to leave South Africa? Well, I'm old now, so I don't want to go anywhere. I'm happy with my cats, my wife, my dogs, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And so I love my country. Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, we have got a lot to offer, man. You know, we the skills, our universities are brilliant, to say the least. Our schools, to a degree, are excellent. We just are producing lazy young people. That's what I'm thinking. And you can make such a big difference. It is the people that have come out of schools, went into a job, realized they hated it, fell out of that job, operated on a new skill, and then found their desire. Oh, this is what I've been wanting to do all my life. Case in point. and I'm there. So the talent is, make no mistake. I mean, you know, in the USA, the talent is amazing. I mean, but of course, China, I mean, it's just a perfect, you know, it's just perfection. The Far East countries, I mean, I'm doing a lot of work in the Far East in terms of the Philippines, etc. The work ethic is brilliant. But every country has its problems.
Every country. No country is perfect. We like to think they're perfect.
Yeah.
From an outsider's perspective, though.
So I do a lot of work in the Middle East, as you do know. And I come across, I'm often at one of the airports that I'm privileged to train with. Why they would hire me to come and train at people in the airports. But anyway, I'm there. But so you walk into these airports that are absolutely stunningly beautiful. I mean, the decor.
It's like art.
It's like something to behold. I mean, it's breathtaking. It's like I stand looking like a real tourist, you know, kind of thing. I even take photos all day with my phone and then send them to my wife.
Airport.
Yeah, and she goes, ooh, you know, kind of thing. And then the guy says, hey, you're in a training session. Then I walk into a training, can we call it a wing? And I'm surrounded by trainers from all over the world. The UK, European, lots of European trainers, some from Australia, you know, project managers, they're brilliant in project and agriculture, some from the States, but not a lot. Lots of people from the South Americas. Would you believe that? So the talent is far, the world has got talent. I don't think we are short of skills and talent in South Africa.
I don't think so either. I think there's a lot of industries that I think have huge potential.
Massive.
It's just we aren't allocating enough funds to it.
Yeah. You know, on one hand, money is one thing. On another hand, passion is another thing. I've had to learn or master the art of marketing. I now hire people to do that. I've got a phenomenal team around me that do my marketing and my graphic design and things like that. And I'm very grateful for them because I just absolutely...
I would not be able to do anything.
No, listen, they direct my energy. I say I'm going in that way. They say, no, you're going in that direction. But that's a discussion for another day. But, you know, to kind of get to your point, you know, the skills that we have, we are not applying enough of it. What I do find is that many of the industry, my peers, are struggling to find work, to use their knowledge and their skills, and what do they have to learn? Learn how to market yourself, or hire people to do it for you. Learn how to social media. Learn how to AI. You got to learn these.
Those are vital skills.
Those are vital skills. I mean, I'm well into my 30s, and I'm learning AI now. You know what I'm trying to say? Don't tell anybody I said that.
It's okay.
Okay, but you know where I'm coming from. So, but I love this learning journey, and I'm, you know, I'm struggling, but I'm learning. If I don't know, I don't necessarily Google. I ask somebody who is more skilled than what I am, and I usually get the right answer.
I mean, most of the time. And we're not just talking about the answers through AI.
Yeah. It doesn't. ChatGPT won't answer all your questions, guys. Let me just tell you now. And half the time it's telling you what you want to hear. Yeah. What is your favorite prompt? What is your favorite? You've got to tell me this. I don't know if this is part of our program, but my favorite. So somebody, I heard this somewhere on one of the social media sites. Type your own name in there and ask, ChatGPT to
tell you about yourself.
Hey, it told me everything I
know.
Hear.
It did. I've done it too.
Yeah, did you do that?
Where do you see me in 5 years?
No, it's going to tell you a lie.
It flatters you endlessly.
feel
If you
so-
ever need a confidence boost, ChatGPT, but it's because
That's
it
the
learns
problem.
from you.
It does, but that's the problem with AI. Remember, somebody had to program that.
Exactly.
Now it's learning itself. AI is only IQ at 170, 175. It's only 20, 30, 40 above us at the moment. Einstein was at 160, you know what I mean? So, and I mean, Musk, hate him or love him, he's at 160, 150 right now. That's mind-boggling. So we're not far off. we're not far off. Yeah, I don't know if the recent relationship has got anything to do with that, but what I'm trying to get at is we can think for ourselves, man. And that's what scares me. Don't let AI just do all the thinking for you. In fact, I've prompted and I've said to you, do not tell me what I want to hear. From here on in, don't tell me anything that is a lie. And it says, sure, no problem. I've even called it a name. It's got its own name now. So
I love naming them. That makes me sound it sounds so weird, but it feels like I'm speaking to someone.
it is.
You know?
I call him Aegis. He wanted to be called Aegis. Why? I have no idea. Anyway.
Because he can think.
He can think for himself. I presume that's but yeah, but we're off the point. We digress. and I get where you're going. I mean, but yeah, let's just get back to where we were.
So I want to know, I mean, you've been, a speaker, you've been a trainer, you've been facilitators. For the people who are listening to us today who want to do something similar to what you have done, what is your best piece of advice?
Don't. just don't.
Don't do it. It's not for everyone.
It's not a bed of roses,
No.
and it's really not so glad. I get a lot of people asking me that question, and I do a lot of mentoring unofficially, if I can use that as kind of the point that I'm trying to make. I discourage it because it's a cutthroat business. It's a very emotional business. Let me put it to you this way. I do not know where my next salary is coming from. I have no idea. In October, I can't tell you if I'm going to be able to pay my bills, etc. And I don't have reckless, accounts, but a house and a car and things like that.
Like the normal
medical aid and
Exactly.
pension and all these kind of things that I have to have. Man's getting on in age kind of thing. So I have to prepare for my future, and that costs money. So it's easy to fall into this glamorous trap because, I'm all over social media, or we are for that matter. We pump it out there. It looks easy. I make it look easy. It looks glamorous, but I travel late nights, through the nights, 24 hours on planes. Long days. I'm up at 2:00 in the morning. I'm preparing. I'm talking to people like you to get things done. I'm having to compete against my peers. It's quoting. It's this. It's money. I'm talking to my accountant. It's a very, 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 very complicated business. But I love it to the extent that I could never work for somebody. I've tried to go work for somebody again. I really did. I tried. I just couldn't fit into the culture. I am my own culture.
It's difficult because you've created this whole, I want to say it's a business. You've created your business, and to merge businesses, it's not easy.
You're very right. And as a brand, as a brand image, and the team that I have, we are the brand, we are the image. You know that I run 2 other companies plus my own brand. So, and they all have a purpose, but they're all intertwined. It's a full-time job. As you know, I don't believe in the work-life balance concept. I believe in harmony. There is no such thing as work-life balance. So if you want this job, don't think that that's going to happen for you. So, but on the other hand, if it appeals to you and you want to put in the work, know that you've got to work. Business does not come to you.
No.
You have to find it. So you are all of those in one: salesman, marketer, accountant, cold caller, hot caller, trainer.
And you have to stay with the trends. It is one of the most saddening things to see someone with so much potential and then they struggle because they don't know what the trend is currently.
That's the thing. I hire people to look at trends, and then I don't even believe them. I go and look to see if that is the trend. This is how paranoid I am in this industry, and you have to be. Otherwise, I like what you say, trends. But part of your skill in trend looking, if that's the right term, is futuristic forecasting is to look at, and I follow phenomenal speakers and talkers that talk so robustly about what the next day is going to look like. Forget trying to tell the weather. These guys can tell you down to the next rand and cents or dollar what the next business will be. And that drives me. That keeps me on edge where I need to be all the time.
So I want you to complete the sentence for me.
Scary.
I know. I don't think I would be able to do it.
Let's start with you. Complete that sentence. What is the sentence? Tell us.
The one skill every South African should develop this year is?
Personal mastery.
Oh, I love that.
On any given Sunday. Personal mastery. To conquer the self is to be at harmony with the I, the me. And that, in today's mad world that is upside down, just looking at the news, is probably our biggest challenge. We do not know how to exist with ourselves. We've lost that edge. We hate ourselves. We're angry at ourselves. We're disappointed in ourselves 99% of the time. The day you can get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you, that's the day you've arrived.
So now before we end off, I do want to know, Dr. Graeme, if you have any advice for anyone, regardless of what field they are wanting to go into, any advice for someone who just wants to be successful in their chosen field, whether they take a gap year or not, what is the advice you would give them?
Oh, that's an easy one. Put the time in. So put the time in is relative. Invest. You're going to have to spend money. You're going to have to spend the time. You're going to have to spend the work. You're going to have to be dedicated. You're going to have to be committed. You're going to have to be switched on. You're going to have to be turned on. Passion is no longer a thing. It's a driver. It's the commitment. It's a whole bunch of things, but really at the end of the day, it culminates in you're going to have to put in the time. Like any industry.
Absolutely.
It's time. That investment, commitment, discipline, of course, focus. I can use a whole bunch of words. But for me, what drives my success is a great support team, the love of my wife, the support of her, and the complications that I have that I can work through and say, hell. This week I had a week from hell. But you know what? It's just a week. And tomorrow,
there's another week.
It'll happen. Things will happen. But put in the time.
Now, Dr. Graeme Lategan. Whatever you choose to be called. I just want to thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I know there's still so much that you and I can sit down and discuss because we go on so many tangents. But it's a good thing.
Different directions.
But I love that because I like your thoughts on everything.
Sure, thank you very much.
I really appreciate you sitting down with us on the Training Portal podcast and making the time. Hopefully in the future, when you are in Cape Town again, we can, have another session. I know you said you don't come this way very often.
Not at all. Not as much as I love to.
You hear that, guys?
Yeah.
Cape Townian businesses, if you need a speaker, come on. If you want more podcasts.
If you want that, and you know where to get me.
Absolutely.
I'm all over the place, but thank you very much. I love Training Portal. I've worked with Training Portal in its infancy with Donnie and the regional team. Wow, you guys have come on leaps and bounds, and I'm very proud of your brand.
I must say, we're all very proud of what we have developed.
Very proud of you.
If we see where we were at the begining to what we have developed.
What did Donnie do, and what did the group do? So I'm talking about Donnie now in his absence, but what did you guys? You came on board with the expertise. You've made a brand. It's exactly what we've been talking about.
It is.
But everything the best for you guys in the future, and I hope to see you on the rebound.
Absolutely. Next time on the Training Portal podcast.
It's always been something that I've been passionate about. When I was a little kid, I loved watching historical movies and historical TV shows. There were these, I think they're still around, these things called American Girl dolls, where it's like, yes. So I had several of them, and every time the magazine or the catalog would show up, I would look through and kind of think about the different things. We actually lived near where they did a big sale every year, and you could go and people would wait in line overnight and stuff to get in to get the discounted